Hi, today I want to share my experience moving to the United States from Japan, which was to live with my husband who has been working in the United States for a while, and how I transitioned to the new environment and what was the feeling that I had, and also what was the struggle that I had back then, so that eventually someone can benefit from my experience. If you are watching this video in the middle of your transition, moving to another country, accompanying your partner like me, maybe you are struggling with yourself not being able to be what you expected by the time you are right now, or you might not be motivated even though you have tons of time to accomplish something, or you are just stressed out. So these were the thoughts that were occupying my brain 2 years before. The one thing I'd like to say here is please don't criticize yourself being like that. Now I can say it is totally normal to be freaked out if you leave everything behind, like your house, your parents, friends, families, and places where you love to visit for your weekend, food, grocery store, and everything. It is giving a big impact on you to transition to your new environment. In my case, my husband has been already working in the United States, so when I moved to the United States, it was our first time living together, and just to start living with someone else is so challenging. Adding to that, it was my first time being unemployed. So everything happened at once. Mostly I had to deal with my feeling that I don't have my work, but at the same time there is someone who is thriving at work and really enjoying work, which is my husband. It was just challenging for me to stay at the house looking at someone who is really enjoying working. It's not a problem at all, but I was represented as someone's wife all the time, and that was making me feel that I lost my identity. Later on, I found this was a major struggle that we all had among my friends who came to this country accompanying their partners. I think now I can say that if you are having similar feelings or moods or depression, I think it's not the best time or it's not the best moment for you, but maybe you're on the right track to struggle like us. Next, I want to share what I learned through my experience, and there are two different thoughts that were making my situation worse, so you better check it. Thought number one, everybody is transitioning very well and I am the only one who has been depressed. So I had this very nice community that I can get to know people who are gathered from all over the world like me, but everybody seems to be so fine with their lives, so I didn't have much chances to talk about my feelings or listen to the others, and that made me think, okay, they're doing fine, so I should be behaving fine. That's number two. I have everything to make myself happy, so I should be happy. I really appreciate where I live right now since the weather is nice, not today because of the wildfire, but it's really a safe place and we have a good community that I can meet people, and also I am really close to grocery stores, and even I am so close to Japanese grocery store, which is really important for me. So that part I really appreciate it. But we are not robot and we're human, so of course we have ups and downs. So it's impossible to be happy all the time. But back then, unfortunately, I felt it was selfish to feel stressed, even though I had the best environment I could ask for to start a new life here. That was the most of the things that were going around in my brain. Not only was I going through an emotional jet coaster at the time, on top of that, I had this mind that I should be happy and I shouldn't be complaining. I think I have to admit I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. As I have mentioned at the beginning, if you're going through a similar situation like me, it's very normal to be upset or sad because it's a huge transition and it's just giving big impact on you. What I can say about I should be happy mind, don't ignore that feeling. Because this way of thinking was causing me another stress, which I was trying to decrease the amount of sadness to 0, which is clearly impossible. People tend to rate negative feelings as bad, which is what I was doing. But what I learned is those moods are just an identifier of your feelings to understand yourself. So instead of trying to ignore your feelings or moods that are negative or trying to be positive all the time, face with those feelings and investigate and try to understand and what was the trigger of that feeling. And of course, you can talk to someone else, and I have heard that drawing is one of the options to relieve your stress, which I heard from my friend who is a counselor. So try those things if you are stressed out or if you are nearly freaked out. If you're feeling sad or depressed, don't hide your feelings since it doesn't help you to be mentally healthy, but try to understand your feeling and the thoughts related to that feelings. And you might be able to avoid those negative patterns that triggers your negative moods.
This is all for today and hope my experience would help someone in some